It is 5 minutes after 6. This is the Town of Hennessey Board of Trustees, regular meeting, March 14th, 2024, Town Hall. Council room at number 1, call to order, and roll call, please.
Randy?
Here.
Bert?
Here.
Cliff?
Here.
Harold? Dave?
Here. Number 2, report from the Town of Hennessey ADHOC agencies. How's that again, Barb?
Ad hoc.
Thank you. Ad hoc.
I'm not Barb, but.
No, you're Kelly. This is Barb.
Harold was at the meeting and I would much prefer that he,
So you'd like to
Maybe the
table this
report.
at this time?
pardon?
You'd like to table it this time?
Sure.
Okay. We will move on to number 3.
Oh, hold on, we still have Discover Hennessey is in
The-
that also.
We've been up to our rear in car show for about the last 30 days, trying to get ready for that, and it's a huge, trying to get everything going and helping Tony with it, and so I hope to have a full plan here just really quick. We're still messing with the insurance and how to deal with that. Oh, I do have some good news. Can I tell them about the sound?
Mhm.
We found a contractor that is going to fix the sound system and have it ready for the car show.
Oh,
So we'll be able to have sound on the whole, all 3 city blocks.
oh, good, good, good. And it sounds like it's going to be a really big car show.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really big one. We've added some things, and it's gonna be much more organized this time. The fire department, operated by Randy, is taking care of all of the parking, where we're putting cars. So last year it was, go this way, find a place to park, and it was like mayhem. This year, everyone's gonna have a place, and then we're gonna have categories where antique cars and different kinds of areas where things will be located, and then we're gonna time the actual car events, like the burnout contest and the logo thing, and the four-wheeler event will be timed rather than conflicting with each other. So you can see all 3 events if you wish.
Okay.
So, it's coming along.
You're doing a great job, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if Tony's done it, but by himself.
I don't know.
Yeah. So what I'm building is, everything is mapped and documented, so next year it'll be so much easier. We'll have everyone's phone numbers, we just go with it. And up to this point, we literally start from scratch every year. So it'll be much easier to produce next year.
Can you give me the date again, please?
I'm sorry?
The date?
May 19th.
May 19th.
May 19th.
Yeah.
And we've also gotten permission from the state to reroute the traffic on 81, so 81 will be closed to thorough traffic.
So you'll stop it up?
Stoplight to Love's, is it? Or stoplight to Conzo?
I think we were talking about going ahead and detouring it at Quantico,
Yeah.
and then,
Keep
coming out
the heavy traffic off the side streets, get it
yes.
on those industrial roads.
So.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Jack. Number 3, consider approval of the consent agenda. A, minutes of February meeting. B, approval of the claims as follows. 1, February purchase orders, $2,463.68. March purchase orders, $40,038.61. March RSTF fund is $35,466.09. March cemetery care, $10,758.93. March juvenile fund is $686.50. March library fund is $238.33. March street and alley is $3,299.48. Accept the department reports. Quarterly financial report from Crawford Association and the budget amendments from Crawford Association.
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Randy?
Yes.
Cliff?
Yes?
Bert?
Yes.
Dave?
Abstain.
Okay. 4, citizens' comments. 5, town administrators report purchases and in new employees.
You guys have my report. Only thing I want to add is I went ahead and talked to the IT people again today, and they are going to, our goal date between that and the board docs is going to be July 1st. Because they've got to get us all up on Microsoft 365, migrate us to Microsoft 365, so that way they can put it on you guys's, we're gonna get Surface Go's for you guys. And then, that way everything will be ready to go when you get it. Because then they'll also have it set up for board docs and stuff like that.
I know I read it as an email, but I didn't see it.
Let's see.
I got a couple of questions
Yes,
for
sir.
Tiffany, if you don't mind. Tiffany, I don't have your report in front of me.
I don't either, so.
I did, that's okay. That's okay, no problem. I did read your report,
Uh-huh.
Yes.
okay? So, my question is, I can't remember what we voted to approve. My question is this: I know that all 5 of us are gonna get one of the iPads. My question is this: are you gonna get one, Shelley and Kelly?
Kelly has a laptop. So we're just gonna take her laptop, put the Microsoft 365 on it, so that it will all be in the board docs, so she won't have to have 2 separate devices. And then I have one on order for myself
Yeah.
and for Shelley, because as the treasurer, so that way,
Yeah.
you know, she can do all of her bank recs and stuff like that on
Yeah.
that if she needs be. And then I had to go ahead and order the water department, Alyssa, her computer, her little tablet went down, so I had to I
Okay.
ordered her one too.
So Kelly, do you think you can function without having one of those iPads for this meeting?
It's not gonna be an iPad anyway.
Okay,
Because right now they don't support iPads.
okay.
So it's gonna be like a
It's
little,
gonna be a tablet.
it's kind of like a mini computer to me.
Oh, okay, all right.
Kind of like the school board uses.
Okay. I
They use
understand.
Chromebooks, but
Yeah.
actually
It's one of
Surface Goes is with the Microsoft and
So,
different.
wait a minute, Kelly.
Okay.
So my question is, do you think you can do your stuff as town clerk for this meeting without having one of those?
I'll just have to try it
Okay.
and see. I mean, I don't,
This is gonna be better for her. It has more capabilities.
Okay,
It'll have the same stuff on it, it'll just be, she'll have more capabilities.
okay, I'm good. You good with that, Kelly? You try it, if it doesn't work, then we
I mean,
can.
we can get one of those, but like, those things are only good for like basic stuff, like
Yeah,
email
yeah.
and, you know, and on the web.
Yeah, I know what they are, yeah. I was having trouble remembering, I was hoping that we had approved enough funding to get Shelley and Tiffany and Kelly one, you know. So
Yes.
that was my goal, that's what I wanted to hear, but I'm okay with it. Thank you, Cliff.
Because Shelley and I will have to have the capabilities to get on the CIC stuff also.
Mhm.
So the speed and stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
Randy, you have any questions that you'd like to
I
ask?
do.
No? Okay. Thank you. Number 6, other scheduled business, discuss, approve, deny, reject, and/or take action on the following. A, John Wynn's response to the town code review.
I emailed you guys a couple of weeks ago, his response to the code review. What I was gonna ask you guys, I have right now working on where he recommended us to review some of the fees and stuff. I have that, started working on that to present to you guys, but I would like your permission to send American Legal Publishing the stuff that the attorney has recommended to them and have them give us what else we need.
I see that's very agreeable to me.
So to kind of,
Condense it a little.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. I think that's a good idea.
You need to make that as a motion.
Can we hold off just a second?
Yes.
So Tiffany, what you just said then is that you want permission from the board to send John's response to the publisher, and you're just gonna have them incorporate his changes, and then are we gonna get it printed out in another
then they
thick
can-
paper copy, or we're gonna
They
get it?
can send back whatever, yes, and then we can review at that point what else we have to review, includes all the review and all the fees, but anything else that we need to do after that.
So all we'll get is a list of things to do. We won't get another shot at reviewing the documents in their entirety.
Yeah, you will,
Okay,
yeah. Because you got, I mean, that's how you have to approve it, you have to approve it in full.
yeah, I wouldn't want to approve it unless I've
Yes.
gone through it, that's my
Yeah.
point.
What we're approving is giving this to the company so they can make the changes and then send it
Make
back to us.
Make John Wynn's changes,
Right,
and then we get a crack at making more changes.
yes.
Okay, I'm good with it.
Because there's also some ordinances that he says that we need to do, if you read through his stuff, there was a couple of ordinances that we need to do also, so.
I'm not exactly sure how to word this. I make a motion to, what's the company's name?
American Legal Publishing?
Motion to send John Wayne's proposal of the town code review for them for any additional, I don't know exactly how to word this.
Well, what I'm asking for, maybe that'll help, what I'm asking for is your permission to allow me to give American Legal Publishing, our attorney's
Right.
comments.
A motion for ALP to take John Wynn's review and
Incorporate it into the draft.
okay. I make a motion for ALP to take John Wynn's review and incorporate it into a draft. Second. Roll call, please.
Okay. Was that Randy that seconded it?
Burt.
Bert,
Bert, okay. All right, Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Randy,
yes.
Dave,
Yes,
B, enter into a contingency legal contract with, I want to say, Ussery and 11 law groups to collect for a PFAS Forever Chemicals damage to our water production system without any upfront cost.
Mr. Mayor, our attorney is on his way. He had another board meeting that they were trying to get to and get here by 6. Can we proceed down to item E?
Okay? We will table that. We will go to E, Cary Hill Building Permit Denial Appeal.
Mr. Mayor, Ms. Hobel, Ms. Keel, whatever. had a hard time. She put in a building permit to put in a mobile home over in an RM zoned area. It was reviewed by David Trainer, our code, or our building official, and it had to be denied because the mobile home did not meet the 1,200 square feet required by our code. So David Trainer found in the code book where she could appeal to the town board and let the town board make the decision.
That's what she did. I get that.
So, I don't know if you want to give the table to them to talk about,
Yes.
or what you want to do.
I would like to hear from Carrie.
So the trailer that we are looking to buy is 1,064 square foot, and it's like 136 square foot shy of what's required. It'll be a brand new manufactured home that's being built this year. There's 4 bedroom, 2 bath, like there's just 2 of us. I don't know that I need a 1,200 square foot house.
I've reviewed the information, Cliff, I have no questions.
Okay. Randy?
I don't think I have anything.
Bert?
No.
So it's 136 feet, 136 square feet different.
And the thing is I think she was looking at it was gonna cost
Right.
so much more just to
It's
add that
$10,000
130.
more, plus you'd have to have, $3,500 more down payment, and her payment would go from $850 to $1,200.
for
And she leaves one bedroom.
For 136 square feet.
That doesn't make any sense.
Help me with the wording. Should the motion, do you think, should say to override our square footage requirement? Should I wait on the city attorney? I want to make sure it's worded correctly.
Make an exception?
Probably,
Waive,
yeah, probably.
I don't know that you want to say that. I think that you
Yeah.
want
I
to
don't want it to
override
be
the
some-
building inspectors, you want to approve the appeal or override the building,
For
the
this one
denial.
case only. I don't want
Correct,
it
yes,
worded
because
where
if
it's
you,
gonna-
if you waive the square footage or you
Yeah,
do
it
that,
could be
it's,
on
I mean,
bill.
it is setting precedents. And I want you guys to realize that you are setting precedents. So if somebody comes in and has the same zoning, same stuff like that, you're setting a precedence.
So what's the reason for the 1,200 square foot minimum? Is there, why was that? Obviously, I wasn't around whenever that ordinance was put in. I don't know if, was anybody else? Involved,
That was
or-
back in 2020, 2019, 20,
is it
or
possible,
actually 20.
I'm sorry, is it possible that came out of the international building codes?
I'm not familiar with those. I know when we had the people help us redo the building codes and stuff like that, it got put in there. So, I mean, that is even something that you guys, we could do an ordinance and make changes to that too,
Okay.
instead of having to do this.
Because as far as the town goes, I could foresee us having, certain requirements on a home in certain areas, but as far as square footage goes, I don't understand why that would dictate any regulation on our part.
Yeah, and your housing additions, when they develop a new addition, usually has some covenants that cover that
Well, this is not even
on square
R1.
footage.
So R1 has different ones. This is RM, and when you think of RM, that's that's
That's a mobile home.
mobile home district.
Right.
And I would say most mobile homes, and I don't have my calculator with me, but most mobile homes are like 16 by 80s at the most.
And that'd be 1,400, right?
So-
No, six-
What's 16?
Can't do the math.
It's over my head.
My head's not working today.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't know.
16 by what?
By 80.
80. It's not what I said.
1280.
1280, but that's on the high end.
Sure.
So I'm thinking you could even go down to even like 1,000.
I mean, for that matter, if somebody wants to live in an 800 square foot home and they think that's adequate for them and their situation, then I don't see where that's an issue.
I don't, I don't want to change something to where we make the square footage so low that people could bring travel trailers in and out of a mobile home district, because we have zoning for those.
Sure.
And
Well, but we also have that in there that they have to be 5 years or newer in that code. So to me, that is helping
there you go,
that.
buy a new house in 5 years.
So like they could bring in
No, I
a
understand, yeah.
14 by 60 70s model.
Right.
Well, I think in the ordinance somewhere it says that a mobile home or a travel trailer can only be put there for a year while you're building something. It's already in the ordinance.
Are you going to attach a garage to this?
Maybe eventually we would like to, but probably not at first.
Okay.
Maybe a carport or something.
And everything else in here you're going to agree with, because it says it must be on a permanent concrete or block foundation?
Yeah, so Clayton Homes, they will actually set everything up according to the codes in Hennessey.
There you go.
I'm all in favor of doing it. I just think we need to,
Word it correctly.
and we probably need to look at changing that ordinance, would be the best way to.
Do you have a date when it's going to be continued, when done?
Well, we can't actually order the trailer until we get approval from you guys. So, and it'll be like 2.5 to 3 months to build it.
So could we give her a tentative?
2.5 to 3 months to be built.
No, you can override now. You can give them
Yeah, I'm looking
approval
for the
now.
ordinance.
But we can
number.
also go in
So it's right here.
and prepare,
Okay, I just hadn't got there.
and prepare an ordinance for future
Yeah.
ones, if
Okay.
if that's what you guys so choose.
Tiffany, is this out of our ordinance book?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Let me write this out, see if it makes sense.
Good luck, mine didn't last time. Well, what we're looking at, I think we all agree, well, I can't say everybody agrees, because I don't know.
Well, if we should be able to fix this in our code review that we're working.
Yeah,
Right, you are right.
for sure.
Yes.
Tiffany, yeah?
But
Okay,
if you guys wanted it to
sooner,
sooner, then we would do an ordinance with an emergency clause, that way it would take effect upon publication.
okay. I get it.
While he's writing that, I would like to back up a little bit, going back to Tiffany's administrative report if I could, when he gets done. I have a question I would like to ask, if you don't mind.
I actually have one also. Out of her report, I wasn't able to get it in while she was talking about her report. Now, I can wait till council person's report if you want me to, it's not a problem.
I could also, okay, that'd be a good idea. We'll do that. So we'll stay online.
You can go ahead.
Okay, what I wanted to ask is that, because I mentioned this to you and I forgot, but we have several people that have gone to school and gotten new certifications or their license or such, and we don't have something in our pay scale to take care of that
For our supervisors.
for our supervisor. And I feel that we need to take that upon it. I know we can't do it right now because it's not on the agenda, but I would like to put that on the agenda for our next month, that we'll be able to.
Well, that's what I put in here. I put in there that I would be proposing something next month.
Right, so we definitely need to thank these people for going to school. Thank you, people, for going to school. I really appreciate it. Thank you for what you do for us, and I really like having you guys on here and working as a team, so thank you very much.
And Alyssa got her A.
Yeah.
Okay, she is
Wow.
probably around, there's probably only like 27 to 30 in the state that have their A's.
That's awesome.
That's
impressive.
Yeah, very, very. Okay, I'm going to make a motion to override ordinance, chapter 9-8-5 regarding the square footage of mobile homes for permit number 2024004 for Jamie and Carrie Keel.
I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Bert,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes,
Randy,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes,
so congratulations,
There you
you're
go.
approved, and thank you for,
you guys.
Thanks for your patience.
I appreciate that.
You weren't looking at me, but I was sitting back here saying no before. Just to give you a bedtime.
Hopefully you guys can get back to
That's what I
normal
do.
soon.
Well, I want
Yeah.
to thank them for having patience with us because
Yeah.
it's a process.
It is.
And it's not just something we can just sign off on or something like that. We got to make sure that we go through the correct process.
I also say taking care of cleaning it up and getting it taken care of. I know you've had lots of help, but it looks really good, and keeping it up and taking care of that, and that's very appreciative also.
Well, thank you, we appreciate it.
It's not done yet, but we're.
Well, I know, but it's, yeah,
There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let us know when the housewarming and barbecue.
Yes, we will, we definitely will.
wait a minute, Bert, no fires on that property.
Electric candles.
Warming park.
I hadn't thought about that, yeah. We'll do it at the park,
Call it an
okay?
open house.
We can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
It hadn't been funny up
Thank
until
goodness.
now.
No,
Yes,
Yeah.
it was well, I've kind of been laughing all along, I think I had to, in order to
Yeah.
keep from crying every day.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah.
thank you,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna need a lot of help on F, the summer 2024 aquatics center rates.
What do you mean you're gonna have a lot?
Because we voted, there was like, how much we was charging per ticket, and there was a time for family.
Okay, so I know last year you guys voted to allow anybody on anybody's family pass. I will tell you that the town lost over $300 just from my family alone.
Good luck.
I'm sorry, can you re-say that, please?
So last year you guys voted to allow anybody to be placed on anybody's family pass.
Right.
My family alone, just my family, which includes my kids, all three of my kids, my parents, everybody, lost over $300, just my family alone. So I still think that we need to take it back to a household. The family pass based on, they have to live in that household. But because we have senior people taking their grandchildren and stuff, I did put in here now that children 0 to 1, because we have a lot of infants, free with paid admission. And then also your seniors, which we could lower down to 55 or 60 or whatever, but I have 65 plus, free with paid admission.
35? I feel like a senior.
I just think that the town lost on a lot of money on it.
Well, I think another thing we was looking at was babysitter. So, you know, because of
That was the issue that actually arose, that
Yeah.
caused
Was
us
it?
to change, was a babysitter.
a babysitter.
I thought it
Or-
was Harold saying that because, you know, he's the one that takes his grandkids to the pool, you know, not their parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand a lot of these scenarios.
Well, the issue that, I'm sorry.
No, I don't, I want as many people to get the opportunity to enjoy our pool as we can. I don't know, I may be looking at it wrong, but I see it as more of a service than us making money off of it. I mean, I
don't think we should make money, but I
Right.
think we should at least,
did we lose money on the pool last year?
we were over, I mean, we were in the black, like $2,000.
2,000, and you guys made an annotation that that was based on the concession stand, not the
Yes.
pool.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, more people that are there, the more snacks we're gonna sell. So,
What could we do? Because the issue I remember last year also was the babysitter issue, because she wasn't on the family pass, so she would have to pay every time to take the kids. Is there, Tiffany, can you think of any provision we could make to include a situation like that?
Well, I don't know, because in my situation, I could say that I was babysitting my grandkids, you know, just,
Yeah, right.
you know what I
No, I
mean?
understand.
And I don't know how to
so,
get that.
so what if rather than,
I will tell you, some of those passes had up to 20 people on them,
well, I feel like we need to cap that, to some limitation.
so.
So it's more than family at that point, or very, very extended family.
So what about if we raised, rather than 25 to add someone, we raised it to 40?
Are you gonna cap it to where,
I say cap it at 12. Or 10. I don't know, what are you guys' thoughts? Because I don't know, I mean, did we have a lot of individual passes sold last year at $100?
no, I raised that,
Oh, you did raise that,
yes, I raised that, I raised this
okay,
based on Kingfisher.
okay.
Yeah.
Our pool's way nicer than Kingfisher's,
I know.
just saying.
But that's what they're charging,
charging.
actually, they're charging right at that. They're charging this right here.
Okay, so what did we charge last year?
Yeah,
75 and 150.
Okay.
75 for an individual, 150 for a family.
and you want to propose,
100 and then 175.
Do they get little passes that they have to show when they show up, or what, do they have a number that they give them?
They give them a number, and then they're in the Rolodex. So it may be where they have to write down that they showed up, so we can see. We may rethink some of the things.
So if the babysitter is on the family pass, they show up, they don't have the kids with them, all they have to do is give the number and they can get in.
Or we could always
Okay.
put something on there that up to 4 in the same household and 2 outside of the household. I mean, that would eliminate the babysitter, grandparent, whoever issue.
I'm thinking maybe put like 5 on it, and you've got to list everybody. And if you want additional people on it, it's so much per person. I don't know, I'm like Randy, I don't want to restrict, I don't want to make it unaffordable. It's there for the kids to enjoy, well, and adults as well, to enjoy, and I don't want to have some little kid that can't go because of a cost issue. But yet, I don't want 20 people on a pass either, because
There's gotta be a medium ground here somewhere.
I can see that where that's open it for abuse for people to.
Well, she already admitted she's one of them.
I did.
Yes, Kelly?
Okay, well, I'm gonna say.
Oh, I know. Oh, no, by no means, I
When
know
my
that.
kids were younger and we had a babysitter, like we would buy them season passes to Frontier City. You know, she would take them down there, we'd give her gas money, whatever. So, okay, as a family, we felt like it was our obligation to pay for the babysitter's season pass. You know, she wasn't a member of our household, we had to pay for her season pass separate. I can see where either if the family wants the babysitter to take the kids to the pool, then I think the family ought to pay for the babysitter's season pass. Or the family ought to give the babysitter,
Money.
whatever, probably $3 every time she takes their kids.
Because the babysitter don't have to use it only when they're with that kid. You
Yeah.
got night swims, you got the days she don't have the kids, she can go whenever, or him or her, whoever. It's not like they have to use it only when they take that family. They
So
have,
Oh, well, I thought it was supposed to be that,
no, they can use that pass for whenever the pool's open.
If they're put on that pass, they could use that.
oh, I thought it was just when they're babysitting.
No.
So if
We
they
have no clue.
babysit 3 days a week,
They can use
they
it
can
7,
use 7 and.
day and night.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's why I asked
That's
Tiffany,
That's not what we was
if they show
anticipating. That's
up,
not what we were thinking.
I
Yeah.
don't think that was our intent.
No.
Well, like at Leonardo's, you buy the pass, and it's good for 5 people or whatever like that, and you list the names.
Yeah.
And so only those people get in on that particular pass.
Mhm.
I like 5.
I can't remember what it is,
I
but
do
maybe.
too.
I like 5.
it's
on the back
on
of-
the back of Carrie's.
So, not in the same household, any 5 people, but limit it to 5. At $225 for 5
Oh, there we
people.
go.
How much is like one person? Like if I wanted to go, how much is it for me?
$3
$3.
Or $75.
or $4 for an adult,
And how much is
Per day.
a year annual for one person?
100. I mean, it
Last
could
year.
go back to 75.
Last year was 75.
It's just, they have been they have been those rates since we opened.
Yeah.
The chemical cost is,
I'm lost.
Yeah.
It's on the back of Carrie's,
Oh, no.
stuff.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tiffany, have you
Somebody has to keep it
considered,
organized.
I know.
on the
I'm
back
saving paper
of Carrie's
birds.
stuff.
have you, David would like this.
Right, left hand.
Oh,
There you go.
Considered a card pass system where, so you can't just show up with a number. You have to have a little key pass thing that they bump or swipe or something. I gotta think those aren't crazy expensive anymore with new technology. And that way, you know, it's not, oh, I found this number out on the sidewalk or something kind of thing. And then every year, you know, they're easy, you just wipe them all and start over again.
the only thing is kids keeping track of those.
Yeah, that's true
Yeah.
too.
I had employees that would leave them at home or lose them or something, they're $5 a piece,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
I can,
Yes.
boy,
I got a question. I'm talking about kids keeping up with stuff and, you know, being a little bit, I know it's a little chaotic over there. I do not go to the pool, maybe once a year, just to look around. is it possible for us to get like a, what I wanna say is a computerized cash register, where that data could be in that cash register as to who's what, on whose list? I guess, are we gonna have a cash register over there this year?
We had a cash register last year.
Okay,
Well, we've had a cash register since it opened.
a functional one that works?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So,
It does, but we're talking teenagers and
Yeah.
they don't always, like,
Yeah.
their numbers that they print out, sometimes they may put people in that are not, or not
Yeah.
put people in, or something like that. But there is a cash register where they're supposed to put in the department, which is, you know, what they're paying for, and then the
Yeah.
amount.
I'm just interested in the possibility of having a register over there that actually has a computer screen on it, and we could identify, you know, party members, rosters of family that are on the passes.
So even,
If-
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm thinking out loud. So a binder with barcodes, scan the barcode, it could come up with the name,
Kinda like the school.
kind of like the school does for their cafeteria, same kind of situation. Something like that. Then we could keep track of the names to where if there's 5 people on the season pass and the 5 are already inside, but yet they're trying to use it again, and you scan it and it says, no, that's 6. You know, I don't know. I'm just,
Well, what if, like Jack was saying, have them carry a card, and I understand a 5-year-old's not gonna keep up with that, or 8-year-old probably, but somebody's bringing those kids to the pool. Can mom or dad or babysitter not walk that card in, get it scanned?
We have a lot of kids that come on bikes or
Yeah.
walk.
Right.
We need to,
I mean, we
I
can try it and
understand.
see.
Yeah.
We have the Rolodex right there by last name where they can, you know, hey, they come in. But I will tell you, when you have 50 kids wanting to get in.
Yeah, they're not probably checking that.
They're not able to sit there and go through that Rolodex at that point.
right.
Well, honestly, they don't look at that Rolodex hardly at all anyway, because a kid will say, I'm number 10, so they just write,
Yeah,
little
but what
boy,
if the
number
kid-
10,
What
when they
if
walk
that
in.
kid tells 10 of his friends he's number 10?
In the past, I've looked through those. I mean,
Okay,
Make it a 3-digit number, make it harder.
I'm saying it does not get done all the time.
so,
Make it a 3-digit number, make it
I
harder.
recommend you guys leverage information technology over there in any way, shape, or form you can.
how about I
Yeah,
look
I
in to
think-
see how much it's gonna cost to do something? But I would like for rates at this point, because we're opening up for people to reserve parties April 1st, and so,
Do we wanna raise those prices, or we wanna keep those prices the same?
I still have it listed as 200, that's what I think Kingfisher was.
Okay,
200?
yes. I make a motion to have individuals $100. I'm gonna drop this family blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna just say a 5-person plan for $175. I'm gonna drop this 25-person after that. I'm just gonna make just a flat 5-person.
Well, I think at 175 for 5 people, I think an individual at 100 is way too high. I think we drop the individual back to 75 then. If we're gonna do 5 people at 175, then I think that's fine, but I think 1 person at 100's way too high. My personal opinion.
I don't have a problem with that.
Can we do 5 people at 200? Because that's what it would have been in the past.
That's, yeah. Yeah, I still think in dropping the individual back to 75. though.
Okay.
You're getting 5 at 200, you know, I still think we're,
But why are you wanting to drop the 25 per person? I mean, if a family has,
Or what happens if
4
they have
kids.
6 kids, or,
yeah, if they've got 4 kids and the
My daughter
parents
has 4
want to.
kids and her spouse, so there's 6 of them in that family.
I mean, I wouldn't want them to have to buy 2 passes to cover the whole family if we could add on.
Okay,
We can go into 1,000.
I can do that.
You
But,
see what I'm saying?
yeah. But I wanted to drop,
I think he's trying to put a max on it to where, you can't get all these people on the same pass.
right,
Unless you pay the 25.
But then we're gonna end up with 20 on a,
Right,
Yeah,
so you gotta
like
cap it.
last year.
So cap it
Yeah.
at, I don't know, what do you think, 6, 8? I mean, I know there's some families out there with a lot of kids,
They're like,
okay, so 5 for,
definitely blended
200.
families. You know,
and able to add 3 more at $25. That would put an 8 total.
25 each.
25 each.
I think capping it at 8's that's a good number.
Okay, my motion is to have 1 person at $75, 5 for 200, able to add 3 more at 25 each. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Can we get the single admission too,
Oh, okay.
and the parties?
Only if I can get the date that I want this year.
April 1st.
No, it's gonna be too cold for April
8/31.
1st.
No, what, you can call us on
Oh,
April 1st.
April 1st. I got in trouble last year because I wasn't the first one in
Yeah.
line, so.
me too.
I've already got 3 schools just already called me.
Seriously.
We've got the best pool around, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm just looking
I mean,
on here.
Tonkawa copied us, so.
Kim can pay to get in because she'll have to, but I can go free. Because I'm old.
With paid admission.
Oh.
Only if Kim pays to get in, can you get in free?
So.
I know, but she
Okay,
has to.
so
She's
if-
not 60.
I'm just
Okay,
asking a question.
so my new
If
motion
somebody goes
says to have
65,
1
they can't come to the pool by
season
themselves
pass,
and get in.
$75, 5 on a season pass for $200, able to add up to 3 more at 25 each. A single for 2 to 17 is $3, 18 to 64 is $4, 65 plus is free with paid admission.
And the parties.
Parties are
So if
200.
you're 65 and up, how much do you have to pay?
$4 if it's not with someone else,
Ah,
right?
it
Right.
doesn't, but it doesn't, okay.
Yeah.
But you-
So
Otherwise,
we'll just do 18 plus, how about that?
There you go,
18
Yeah.
plus,
for up, yeah.
but if they're over 65, they could still get in free if they
With
have
paid.
somebody with them.
Yes.
Okay, paid. Okay.
And then the parties is $200 with a $50 deposit. Do I need to read that again?
No, I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Cliff,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes,
Dave.
Yes,
We probably look really silly on the camera.
yeah.
I've just accepted it at this point.
Yeah, but you're not in the middle of the screen. We still don't have our lawyers.
Can they use the passes for that?
I guess we could recess this meeting and do HUA, couldn't we?
Is,
Let me call him though. He should be here.
He probably couldn't get in the door.
so, is there a
I opened it.
water walking?
Yes, the water walk-in is the same as gate fee. But they can use, like if they have a pass, they can use their pass to
Oh,
get into
okay,
the water
I just,
walk-in.
I wondered if there was like a separate charge for the class.
No, they just charge by the age.
I know last year
Okay.
But
we
you
talked,
have to be an adult to do water walk-in, so there's no kids allowed.
there was
Okay.
talking about last year when the lifeguards were giving swimming lessons and stuff like that. Did we get that? Is that taken care of? We're gonna use the same method
You
that we
guys
had?
voted on that last year.
So we're gonna keep that, what we voted on at this time, correct?
I don't know what you're gonna do, but y'all did vote on that this year.
Well, but
What you're gonna do.
what was simple, is everybody happy with what we did for last year on that?
I think it starts this year. It was supposed to start this year.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, that's right, where the Lifeguards had to
believe you
give,
guys
like,
wanted
part of it, or
them
it's gonna go through
to
the
go
town
through
or
the town
something.
hall to book swim lessons, but we don't know the lifeguard schedules.
And they're supposed to pay like $25 or something?
And I thought it was like 10%, there's a percentage.
Look back.
I don't remember. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about? Randy, do you remember? You're young.
We did.
You're
talk
asking the
about
wrong
that,
person.
And I think it was 10%.
10%?
10%,
I think it was something like
Should we
that.
make, well, we can't do that because it's not.
it's not on the agenda.
So we need to put that on the agenda for next month,
Hello.
if we can remember to do
Because the
that.
lifeguards are
Hey.
gonna need to know when
Are
they
you-
Kelly,
are.
can you make a note of that?
Are you on
Yes,
your way?
yes. We're gonna
Okay.
review
Lifeguard
The
swimming
We're
lifeguard-
gonna
lessons.
do the HOA agenda and then we'll come back to the.
We did something last year, but we said we postponed it
Okay,
because
Yeah, I
it
was
was
gonna
too
see if I
late
could look it up.
to get it done. We wanted to make sure that we gave the lifeguards enough time.
Yeah, because they had already scheduled their worker, or their students, and they didn't feel like that it was fair to ask them, you know,
Right.
to either go back and change their rates, or,
And I think it was asking 10%, but I'm not sure if that's
think-
what it,
Yeah, I'm gonna see if
10%
I can
was,
find it.
was what you guys had initially had set up. Yeah.
but if you could review that and put that on next month's agenda, I would appreciate that, thank
okay?
you.
Mr. Mayor, can we recess the Board of Trustees meeting and go into the HUA meeting?
Yes,
Is
we
he
can.
You're in about
closed?
10 minutes.
We can be done with
I was
HUA.
gonna say,
then.
you'd be done with HUA in that time.
Yes, we are going to recess our trustee meeting and go into our Hennessey Utilities Authority. Okay, Board of Trustees, regular meeting, March 14th, 2024, Town Hall Council Room. Number one, call to order, roll call, please.
Okay, Randy,
Here.
Bert,
Here.
Cliff,
Here.
Harold, Dave,
Here,
Consider approval of the consent agenda, approval of the minutes of the February meeting, approval of the claims as follows: February purchase orders, $245.12. March purchase orders, $89,321.33. March meter deposit refunds is $0.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Andy,
Yes, sorry.
Cliff,
Yes?
Bert,
Yes.
Dave.
abstain.
Citizens' comments? Barb?
Was that a comment?
What?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
I had written it down, but it's been a while. Did we ever find out what the cost of the new computer service is going to be? It wasn't available at the last meeting.
What computer?
What
service?
computer
The
service?
word, the iPad.
How much are we paying that company
Was it $12,000?
Was it the board docs or for the computers?
for whatever the company is that's
Board.
providing the service?
Yes, board docs.
It was on the paperwork.
Because, and I called up here and I don't think anyone knew.
Let's see.
Shelley, did I talk to you?
It's in our minutes.
No, you sent me an email, but I told you I didn't
No,
have
because
my
I
copy.
And then I
have,
sent you an email, nobody had the information apparently, I couldn't find it in my notes anywhere.
I was gonna say, I don't think I had.
That was
I thought it was
something else,
12,000.
I thought that was something else.
No, that was something else. I think it's like $6,000 a year. 6 to
Okay,
8.
Let's see.
No, because we got the time clock plus, which was 12,000 for the first year, and then I think it was like 1,500 every year after that. And then we voted to get the board docs, and that was, hold on, let me see.
okay, I couldn't find it in any of the
It should have been in the documentation that we got. It was the contract.
See, I don't think I had a copy of the contract.
See,
All
there
I
we go.
had was that
I
he was
don't,
doing a virtual presentation.
she couldn't find it, and I could,
And I'm looking back through my emails.
What was his name? What was his name?
Evan,
Evan Joyner.
yeah. Yeah, I don't have the.
was it wasn't in your minutes then, right?
It is not in the minutes.
No, because I didn't have,
Right, that's
It
what
says
I,
virtual presentation by Evan Joyner of Diligent Community, automated board meeting agendas, minute building program, 6:15 Zoom.
We made a motion on that, didn't we?
Yes, we did, but I don't see it.
I
We made
looked
a
all
motion,
through
it would
mine.
have to be in the
Because
minutes.
there
well,
was
it's
another-
not, the amount was not on the card. I didn't have it anywhere in my notes. I didn't have a copy of the contract,
And see, the
because I filed that already.
the
but
time clock is
I
not
will
on
dig
there
out
either.
the Time clock is,
Not the amount.
see, I don't know if I had.
so,
No, it needs to be in here. It's not on there.
because there was another bid that was in there, something, and it was about 10,000. And I
Right.
thought that was it, but that was something else. And so I called to find out, and
That was for the water well.
yeah, and tried to find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the time clock, there was no amount in the motion. And not for the meeting software either.
I'll probably make both of them, huh?
You made the first one, David did the second.
We need to
Oh,
add that
thank
to
you.
the minutes. So it'll be on the, I think, right?
I think so, so it'll be a record.
Well, I should say it looks like this is the executed contract, so that's not.
So then, what did you say, this is so much every year, I'm trying to find.
6,000.
It's 6,000, okay, there it is, annual, I can read
Yeah,
that.
see, I don't have anything in here.
And then, do we know, I don't think you knew how much it was going to cost for the.
I still don't have that
Still don't
yet.
have that, okay,
They're working on that.
thank you.
Number 4, other scheduled business, discuss, accept, approve, deny, reject, and/or take action on the following. Any new business, any matter known, which not known have been reasonably foreseen prior to the time of the posting of the agenda in accordance with section 311-9, title 25 OS. Citizens' comments. Councilperson report. David?
Nothing on this one, sir.
Randy?
Nothing.
Bert?
No.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Cliff,
Yes?
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go back over to the Board of Trustees regular meeting. We're gonna skip down here to councilperson's report. David?
I've got one yet. Tiffany, I'm talking to you again, if you don't mind. I'm back on your town administrator report. Down at the bottom, you've documented some stuff on there about a records clerk. And I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with it, it just caused some questions come into my mind. You said you're working on a job description for a records clerk. When I read that, the job description, are you considering that a full-time job? Or is it
No.
gonna be another hire, or?
No, it's gonna have to be integrated into somebody's job description.
Okay, all right, very good.
I'm trying to figure out because almost every city in town that I've spoke with, it falls under the clerk.
Me too.
And so-
And our attorney has told us that that the state statute has already established that we don't need to reinvent the wheel.
So,
What? Can I go on, or did you have
Go
something?
ahead.
Okay, all right. So anyway, another thing that came to mind, and I thought you might be planning on doing, is I thought maybe you were going to hire somebody temporarily to help with our records, to get them organized and get some share files set up and all that stuff. You're not planning on doing that?
not at this time because we don't have anywhere to share them yet. That is because we're gonna wait till we get the Microsoft 365,
Okay.
and then we will be able to, because we will have a shared doc
You'll have
area.
a shared drive area?
Mhm. Yes,
And, okay, that's very good. And we do not have that at this time.
no, we do not.
Okay, well, you need to fix that, that's for sure.
That's what they're working on.
Yeah, that's great, that's great news, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, Bert just answered my next question, legalities. I'm worried about, I'll be honest with you, I'm worried about stringing this out a real long time. You guys will remember, I worked getting the auditor's office up here to brief on this. And Mr. Dodson, you guys remember that?
Yes.
I'm sure almost everybody does because it was pretty neat stuff. And I know you were not working with us at the time. I highly recommend that you watch that video on Jack's All About Hennessey deal. It's dated 13 July 2023.
Okay. I know that Mr. Morley and I have talked
Yeah, very
thoroughly
good, yeah.
through
Yeah.
records.
Mr. Dodson's, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, this is my opinion, and he lectured us. I asked him for a 15-minute training session and a 15-minute question and answer session. He gave us an hour training and he gave us about 45 minutes question and answer. And I was really impressed with that young man. He really seemed to have his act together. I recommend you look at that. You might even want to look at that as a training scenario for your staff. It's that good. I think you'll agree if you review that. I think Barb even got him to do some other stuff with some of her organizations. But okay, so sounds like my questions are answered. I think, I'm just saying this out loud, I think that some of our struggles are based on Kelly not working in town hall. And we just, we're just adjusting to change. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, the town clerk has always filed that worked in town hall.
Mm-hmm.
And, because they could be hired or, they
Yeah.
could, they've always ran and been in town hall existing.
I got it.
I highly encourage the town board to look at creating or changing with the upcoming elections that the clerk and the treasurer become an appointed position by the board instead of elected. Because I will tell you, you get somebody, say for the treasurer, who doesn't even know how to add, who runs for the treasurer and they're run unopposed, and they come in here, they're not gonna be able to reconcile the bank statements.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you on that.
That's what I think the board really
Yeah.
needs to look at, becoming an appointed staff.
Okay, all right.
Good luck with that.
So as a minimum, coming out of this audit that we're going through, you guys have communicated with Mr. Morley a lot,
Oh, yeah.
obviously.
In fact, I spent most of today trying to get him the rest of the stuff
I know
because
you
he's
did.
almost got his report done.
Yeah, I know you did. And so you've got you've learned a lot of information on what they're gonna look at, say, the next time down the road they come in here. And how to set it up and everything. Okay, I'm very happy. Thank you, Cliff, for all the time.
Could I ask one other question?
Yes.
Oh, well, I know you all are getting ready to accept and to make some other business going on here. But since you adjourned the meeting as of the Utilities Authority, and it wasn't on the agenda for you to accept either the resignation or to appoint or to hire another employee. So that just means they're not an employee of the Utilities Authority? It's only the town board? I mean, shouldn't it have been on that agenda too? I'm just asking.
That's a
Well,
good
well, Mayor, may I speak to that?
question. Yes, please.
Yes. Well, I think she makes a good point, and yet I have never been hired by a utility authority to represent them. The town attorney, just by their own volition, has served the utility authorities.
I believe they have voted on it before.
Oh.
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 You didn't even know that.
Yeah. You mean Hennessey has done that?
I believe so.
Okay. Well,
I'm not certain. I have not checked that, but it only makes sense to me, which the attorney I'm not, that a person would be, so they may not let you retire is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to find me, I guess.
I know, I'm kidding.
The practical side is they're going to have to dig deep. But I think if well, I see that when we borrow money, we sign off, I think, as the town attorney, not as the utility attorney.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've never seen one go
We
through
may
on the
need you on the Utilities
side.
Authority side is my.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, and I.
Now you're going to double his paycheck.
No, I'm not. It's their job. Their job. Just a question.
Okay. Let's go ahead and continue with our councilperson's report. Randy, would you like to?
I don't have anything.
Bert? No. Okay, I don't either. So if we could go back up here to B, enter into a contingency legal contract with, no, we did that.
You need to accept his
No, we
resignation.
did that. We did that. Never mind. We're on C. Accept the resignation of John Wynn as a town attorney. Okay?
If I might speak, Mayor.
Yes, please.
I still like you, and I hope that you like me. This is the first meeting where I've been where you didn't have a hostile crowd. I'm kind of disappointed. I wouldn't have had to lock the car tonight. But I've represented Hennessey for 10 or 20 years, I can't remember, but I've enjoyed doing that, and yet I just can't continue to do it. And there are some things that I want to do that don't relate to town government. So I'm winding down my practice. I've got currently I have 15 towns or cities, and so I kind of treat them like my children sometimes. And I just didn't want to see everybody just go different directions, because in Northwest Oklahoma we only have a few people that really have the expertise to do what I do, and that's not because I'm smart. It's just a matter of that's what you faced when you were looking for a town manager. That there's just not a lot of people that want to do that anymore, and that's true for utility people and clerks and attorneys and auditors. So there is one other person that does the same thing I do, but they're just as old as, they're 65 years old too. So I worry that I push someone to you that will only be here 5 years or whatever, maybe 1 year, who knows. So I started looking for someone that was on the younger side that could give you 20 years. And I found Jared Harrison. Jared is currently representing Kingfisher, Watonga, Wacomas. And then he has since that time picked up a bulk of my cities and towns. And we're here tonight for me to recommend him to you. He's a farm boy. He has a practice outside of government, as do I. So if you have to go to the courthouse, you don't have to hire somebody else to do that. I would do that. He would do that. So we're kind of multitaskers in addition to doing the city and town work that we do. He's familiar, as a result of that, he's familiar with Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group, OML, the regional associations, things like that, that you all participate in. He can do the same thing I can do, and that is we share ordinances, we share ideas with other communities. And so I've got those kind of in my hip pocket, and when you need it, I've probably done it before. And you all do the same thing from time to time, sharing with other communities directly, ideas or whatever. So I think he's the right one for you because he's got experience. He lives in your trade territory, and he's the right age. And so he can give you 20 years if you're willing or he's willing. He would do it on the same basis that I do. I have no contract with the town of Hennessey. And so my position has always been, if you don't like me, just tell me and I'll go find something else to do. And vice versa, if I'm not enjoying myself in Hennessey, I'll tell you. So when you, if and when you do appoint him, you're only doing so for the next meeting. And if you don't like what you get or what you see, then you go find somebody else. But what I'm telling you is there just isn't much pick right now. And so I think he's a good pick from the group that have experience. I'll let him speak to his experience. And we've also talked about the fact that he's a Kingfisher County attorney, and so he's going to have conflicts from time to time, as I've had with other members of your community. And so when we have conflicts, we declare those right up front because it's not fair to hide that. And then we find somebody for both you and we find somebody for the other party that you're in conflict with. So that's worked pretty well, I think. And honestly, I think I've only had really one conflict, and that was in your water production area. So I'll let him strut his stuff.
I'm not going to strut too much. He says too many nice things about me, so I don't want to say anything to screw it up. But I do think he gave you a copy of my bio so you could read a little bit about me and a few of the things I've done in the past. But like John said, I've been in the area a long time. In fact, growing up, Hennessey was the place we hated to come play football and basketball. They were our arch rival. I got through that with Watonga, so I'm sure I can let that pass here as well. But still have a lot of good friends up in this area. We've got a lot of clients with our office in the area. Just to John's point about conflicts and things like that, of course, like I said, we've got several people around. The one that I want to specifically mention is I'm the attorney for Cimarron Electric. That's the only one I could see something maybe, but I don't think so because you're not a public power community. I think OG&E is your power provider. So if we get crossways, it's going to be with OG&E, not the town of Hennessey, I don't think. But like John said, I wanted to be upfront with you on that right now, but if something does come up, I'll tell everybody that and make sure you understand that, and then we'll make sure everybody's represented and can move forward from there. But, short of that, just happy to be able to help out if you so choose. Happy to answer any questions you all have now, and go from there. Sir?
You said you're a town attorney at Kingfisher,
Yes.
correct? Do you attend all of their monthly meetings?
I do for them, Watauga asks me to as well, and Wacomas has as well, and they are the same night as you all, at least right now. But if that's something you want, I'm happy to do it, but at the same time, we can knock out a lot of things over a couple of phone calls or things like that, where maybe it's more cost effective that way, but I'd be available when you need me.
Personally, I would like for us to have our attorney present at our meetings.
I know there'd be a lot of times that we could use you.
There's a lot of times that we question things that we wind up having to table just to get an answer on, and I think it would make things go a lot smoother. And we haven't, I assume nobody, Tiffany, have you talked to him about any fee structure or?
No, I have not. Only thing I've done is I've called Kingfisher, and Kingfisher says he does a great job, so.
Okay. John's been doing this for free.
Well, that is not what you told me.
We would like to.
I failed to tell you that he's assuming this at the same rate of pay as I have billed you at. I bill you on an hourly basis for my time.
Yeah, but
He's
you're
going.
too high.
He's going to continue to bill you, and so you're only going to get one bill, and it's going to be from him. In addition, I'm going to stick with him for 6 months so that if he has problems with and he's going to get all my files, all my historic records on Hennessey. If he has problems, he's going to call me so that if it's a local problem or something that has got done 5 years ago, and all of a sudden it's raising its ugly head, then we're going to work through that. You'll never know that, but he's going to be smarter than you can imagine, because I'll be helping him.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But the cost, you're going to have the same cost, and yet if you want him to attend meetings, then you're going to have to pay the piper. And so you may want to think about a hybrid. For example, you could do that on the computer screen. If you have that you could say, hey, we'd like you to be at your home available at 7 o'clock tonight because we're going to beam you in, or we're going to do a conference call with you. That would have to be prearranged, but would also be a cost saver for you.
Yeah, I'd like to see us negotiate a rate.
Or
have him.
Or you could fix the fee. Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about whatever we have in there. Trying to come up with just a flat fee for that might be difficult, just because sometimes you'll have 20-minute meetings, sometimes you'll have 4-hour-long meetings.
Oh, we never have.
No, you never know what can happen.
Maybe
I've never, you never say never. But that would be the hard part with that, but I'm happy to talk about it. I never say no to anything, because we never get anything accomplished if we don't talk through it. But yeah, that's something. Like I said, I probably need to deconflict a couple of things, but if that's what you need, you need to be taken care of how you feel comfortable, I guess.
Well, I'm just kind of going off the cuff here, but our minutes show what time we start, what time we end. I'm wondering about if we could look those up for the past 12 months and average that, and get a rate, and then each year renegotiate that or something of that nature. Something to where we would kind of have an amount to put in our budget, is what I'm getting at. And then kind of like OG&E putting you on an average bill, and then at the end of the year adjust one way or the other. So
yeah, I think there's certainly some options with that.
I want to say thank you, John, for all your service.
Absolutely.
You have done us, I've been here like eight years, and all 8 years I've really enjoyed being able to talk to you and get your ideas and things. I really want to thank you for all these ordinance that you just went through, that big binder, and going through that. I really, really appreciate all those codes and everything. I know that took a long time. And another thing, because I was hesitant, because you're bringing somebody brand new, haven't talked to him, haven't met him, You know, I don't know him from, but with you being there for 6 months, that really eases me to be able to, and I'm sure he's gonna be easier. I know Watonga, they have the things, and I know Kingfisher has things, but everybody has just a little bit different coming around to something, so that really made me a good thing, so I really appreciate that. And I just wanna say thank you again for your time that you've done, and I really appreciate you.
Oh, I really enjoyed my days at Hennessey. I think you have a really an upscale community, because I see some that are not upscale, and I think you all have a good government process here. And you've got Jack Quirk to record you so that you can't tell stories. I'll miss my, I like driving the countryside, and I'll stop around every once in a while.
You're always invited.
Bert can bury me, you know.
I hope you enjoy fishing.
Yeah, well, I hope I do too. Your action tonight would be just, the action would be to accept my resignation and appoint Jared Harrison as your new town attorney. And as I say, you're doing that for one meeting, and you're flexible. If you're not happy with him, then I could find someone else for you, but there's as I say, there's not a lot to pick from. And so I think he's a good match, given his Kingfisher heritage, and we've already, you all really only have one thing, you've got, at least from my end, you've got this OMAG claim by the Gonzalez family. And we've already viewed that site, so he's got my files on that. And so I think we're gonna have a good transition.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Have you had a chance to look at our code book that he was going over to?
No, I haven't looked at it in detail yet, but I've looked at enough code books now of what John's done, and it's all good stuff, especially if he's just gotten it updated for you. You're gonna be in a good spot.
We're in the process.
Getting close.
Yeah, actually,
Gotcha.
this is a Florida group that go through it with not a fine tooth comb, but two fine tooth combs. They comb it, and they find things that nobody else would find, and they also make some suggestions.
Right.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Yeah.
So,
And when I was gonna say, I've been through those recodifications both ways, where you've got somebody like that that's kind of helping you through it, down to, I'm the one getting to go through all of it. So I've done it both ways. Not gonna be an issue to get the rest of the way through that, make sure we get it put in all of the right places, all of those things. I've done it a handful of times.
Because what we're doing tonight is we're taking his recommendations, they're gonna send them back
Perfect.
and have it done, and then have another draft come back to us to see
Yeah.
where
Make sure it
we
looks
stand
right.
on that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll invite you at that time again,
Absolutely, yeah, that's the normal process.
because there's like 1,000 pages to go through, so
Right.
I'm probably exaggerating, but it seemed like 1,000
You
pages.
might not be, because those things get lengthy really fast, but it's important because that's your organic law, that's how you want the town of Hennessey to operate. And like you mentioned before, every town's a little different. You don't need to operate the way Kingfisher does, or Watonga, or wherever else. You're Hennessey, you're not any of them, and that's fine, that's how it should be. So take the time, go through it, make sure it's how you all want it to be, that way it's your town still.
I like that.
John, when is your resignation effective?
tonight.
I got the motion if you guys are ready.
Randy, did you want to say anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, David.
All right, I make a motion to accept the resignation of Mr. John Wynn as town attorney.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Dave,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes. D, appoint Jared Harrison of Kingfisher, Oklahoma as the town attorney. I make a motion to accept Jared Harrison of Kingfisher as town attorney.
And we'll probably need an hourly rate in that,
Yeah.
because I don't remember what it is.
250?
I'm sorry.
225 was where my plan was.
225.
That's what I do in Kingfisher, that's what I do for all the municipalities.
For 225.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Cliff,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
First of all, thank you, but then second, I may just go ahead and mention, since you were asking about the rate and some of that, feel free, or I can get you a copy of the one I've got. I actually generally do have a contract with a number of my cities, but it's got a provision that if it's not working out, it's not working out. I'm not gonna fight to stay somewhere where it's not working. So you could feel free to just look at that one, that's what I plan to do. Or if at some time you feel better, hey, let's go ahead and have something written down so we can all see it. Again, I promise you, it's not gonna have anything that it's gonna take a massive shift of the earth to get rid of me. If it's not working, it's not working, and I understand that, so.
I'd like to ask too, that maybe you and Tiffany communicate about what it would entail for you to be at our present at all of our meetings, and or at least our regular meetings, and you know, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm not speaking for any other board members by any stretch of the imagination, but if that meant we needed to change to a different night, I think we could probably work something out.
I know that would probably help me just with what I know is out there, so I'll look at that, Tiffany, I can talk
Yeah.
some
And then
and see what will work.
at our next meeting, we can look into that.
One question I have, being as have an associate that you might be able to,
I'm the only one that does it regularly in the office, but with 6 attorneys in the office, I've got somebody that if we need someone to come down, we certainly can. I would rather,
I didn't know if that was an
at least
option or-
initially, I would rather be the one to kind of hold on to it, to help get everything, you know, get our hands wrapped around all of it and make everything make sense, since I'm the one that's done most of the city work. But that's certainly something, kind of, John alluded to that we've got plenty of other hands in the office that can help take care of things if I'm having to be gone for some reason or things like that. We can definitely make sure you're still covered even if I'm out of town.
because some things is like a word or a phrase or a sentence or something, how do we phrase it to be a lawful term instead of just
Right.
a phrase?
Right. Yep, absolutely, and that stuff, plenty of us will be able to help you with that. I mean, you're not gonna get left out for one little word and be left hanging for a while trying to figure it out, I guess.
So, okay.
I would suggest, just from going through the state audit process, and they did ask for our attorney's contract, and we told them we didn't have one, I would suggest that the town do the contract, just so we have it
I'm sure that's
for
what he was-
record keeping.
I'll pull a copy of, I mean, Kingfisher, Watonga, they're all about, actually, I'll pull the Watonga one. Kingfisher does it a little odd that they've got me as an employee for a couple of hours, which I don't completely understand, but that's how they wanted it and it works. So I'll get the Watonga one and get it over to you. That way you all can glance at it and see what you'd like to change. I'll be flexible on that. Again, I don't look at it as I can hold your feet to the fire on anything. We can all see the same thing, so we're all on the same page, but I'm happy to go either way on that.
Good. David, anything you want to?
Nothing, sir. I'm good.
Randy, good. Bert?
We
We
need to
still
go
have
back to
this, B,
B?
6B.
Yes, yes. I have furnished Tiffany with it's a class action,
Oh, yeah, okay.
it's a contract
I started to do that, you told me not to.
to join in a class action on what we call PFAS chemicals. And it's a class action that's been created by lawyers in Texas and California, some of your favorite places. Some of us have heard about these PFAS chemicals. They also refer to them as forever chemicals. And they are actually man-made chemicals that won't break down. That's why they call them forever. And so when they enter your body, they don't come back out, okay? And so for probably 5 years, there has been some litigation against the major producers of those chemicals, which would be companies like Dow Chemical, 3M. I mean, these are big, huge corporations. And that's just now kind of starting to come across the country from the East Coast. And we now have discovered some of those chemicals in Oklahoma, including Vance Air Force Base, which has been found to be in fairly large quantities in their septic system, which they have traced back at least to foam fire retardants that are used to practice putting out airplanes. And once the practice is over, they wash the residue of the foam off the airstrip, and it gets into their septic system at some point in time. So I don't know what's going to happen at Vance. They have not found it in the Vance drinking water, which is real good news, because that's the biggest offender. And yet Oklahoma Water Resource Board, DEQ, will start testing for PFAS chemicals in all communities this year. So you're going to pay $400 or $500 for them to tell you whether you're dead in the water or not. The nicety about Hennessey is that you already have a reverse osmosis system, which should be the solution to that. I don't know whether it is, or whether your system is designed just for nitrates only or for other chemicals, but at least you've got a leg up on a lot of other communities. And Tiffany will tell you that's not a cheap machine, and you really don't want to buy another one. So there's a lawyer out of Oklahoma City named Ken Christensen, who's a Thomas native, and Ken's a quality guy, and he's fronting for Oklahoma with this Texas law firm and this California law firm that have created this contract. And it's the biggest, well, first of all, the contract's hard to read, as are all 8-page contracts. So I wouldn't expect for you to fully understand it, nor do I. But the brunt of it is that there's no upfront cost to participate in the class action. If forever chemicals appear in Hennessey and there's damage done, or there's machinery that needs to be bought, then you will be one of the members of the class action trying to recover from these large chemical producers. And your cost of doing that is 30% of whatever they recover for you. Okay? So there's no out-of-pocket cost. It's akin to the guy on TV that wants that's trying to get every car wreck in town. He's at 50%. This is a 30% is probably a windfall for the class action attorneys, but they never know. It's kind of a deal where they can file a lawsuit and they can lose also, so they get nothing in that case. What I would suggest you do, since it's a new subject matter to you, is try to educate yourselves a little bit on these PFAS chemicals. And I would just continue this contract over to your next meeting and decide then if you want to get on board. The concern is that if you don't get on board and they find that you've got forever chemicals in your drinking water, you may not be able to get on board at that time. These people are not knocking on rural doors. They're knocking on metropolitan areas where they can with literally millions of people that they can sign up instead of a Hennessey, which would be a lesser town for them. My experience has been that some of the towns that I serve have said, okay, there's really no downside for us, and so we're going to sign up. And then others I have said, we want to be more thoughtful about this. And so you can do whatever you want to.
John, when's the deadline that if
Sorry?
we don't, when is the deadline that if we don't
Well,
sign up, it
I
becomes too
think
late?
if you could decide at your April meeting, it would be good. The sooner the better, because we just don't know when Oklahoma's going to start testing, and we don't hear that yet. It wouldn't shock me if they do some spot testing to see whether it's a problem or not, because they won't want to deal with 77 counties all at once. And if they test maybe 10 sample cities and there's nothing there, then they may enlarge the program and test more at a more rapid rate. But they honestly would probably be thinking about what their participation in this big number would be also, because they're going to have to create, for small communities, they're going to have to create some grants in order to get that out of to buy the machinery to get it out of your drinking water. So everybody's a little on edge, I think, is another way of saying it. It's just a new problem, and it's a big dollar problem.
Can I say something,
Sure.
Mr. Mayor? So what if they were, to me, this is like insurance. Free insurance to me. Is there some type of negative by us entering this? Like, is there some,
The only negative I can think of is if somebody shows up tomorrow and says, hey, I can do it for 10%. But I don't see that, especially in the rural areas. Might see it where large governments maybe even solicit bids or solicit applications. But you know that you get overlooked for a lot of niceties that Tulsa and Oklahoma City receive or become aware of. What could happen, and we already see a little bit of that happening in the Enid area, is they try to concentrate their efforts on cleaning up massive amounts of water that are then redistributed into the rural areas. For example, Garber is now going to use Enid water coming from Kaw Lake. Wacomas already uses Enid water. And so I kind of see that as maybe a trend that you would, especially in farming areas with nitrate issues, that as each year they make your water standards higher and higher. I mean, you can't overachieve, and hopefully that they'll leave our septic systems alone. But some septic systems, for example, we're in Pond Creek tonight. Pond Creek, if they have an overflow, it goes into the Salt Fork River. Okay, then it goes into wherever. So that's going to be an issue that they're going to have to deal with. Is if it is in your septic system, it can't get in the next guy's system. So they may make you, instead of dumping water, they may make you irrigate it, blow it up in the air so it'll evaporate or something like that. I just don't think anybody knows the answers. They don't know they know that it's a complex problem. They don't know whether one town's involved or 100 towns are involved.
I can see this turning into a multi-million-dollar problem for towns our size.
Sure.
And I
And,
think we better get on board.
well, if Hennessey didn't already have a, you know, the nice part is that you already have reverse osmosis, but as I say, it may not be the right machine. You may need a bigger, better
Well,
machine.
and I'm thinking more on the wastewater side than I am the drinking water side right now.
Yeah.
Because
So-
we are irrigating, but, you
Yeah.
know, they may come along and say, you can't be irrigating with
And
that.
then we gotta build more lagoons.
Yes.
Yeah, or some kind of sprinkler field to get rid of it. So it's, I don't think it's good news for small communities. I just think it's just one more problem to solve. Teflon coatings on cookware has forever chemicals. So if any of you have bought a Teflon pot or pan and you've used it more than once, and you forget, and your kid scrapes it with the metal pancake turner, and all of a sudden it starts bubbling up, and then it starts coming off in your dishwasher, you've got Teflon. You've got a forever chemical that's probably in our sewer system.
Well, not only that, you're probably
And eating it.
eating it,
Oh,
Well,
ingesting it.
yeah, it could be in your scrambled eggs.
John's just the bearer of good news today.
Yeah, yeah, so,
What do you want now?
I just had a scrambled egg for supper.
Was it
so
cooked on a
be-
Teflon pan?
beware Teflon cookware.
No, it's copper.
Yeah. So I just didn't, you know, these class actions are kind of a law, they generally favor lawyers because a lot of time the lawyer gets a big fee and the successful class action participant gets a $10 gift certificate for canned corn or something like that. They just get meaningless rewards, but in this case you get 70% of whatever they collect for you, which is a pretty, you know, could be a pretty good hunk of money. And I do see it as kind of an insurance policy, and I just worry that you won't have that many opportunities, that people are just not gonna be knocking on Hennessy's front door.
Well, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the Camp Lejeune Marine Corps base that you see the ads on TV, this is the problem that they are working. And the time frame for veterans to file a disability claim starts in 1956. That's the year I was born, and I'm an old man, okay? So we're talking hundreds of thousands of GIs and all of their family members, and probably all of their descendants. This stuff we're talking about has been a big problem for the Department of Defense since the 80s. We used to use the firefighting foam. We had to practice on the flight line when I was working there. We walked around and we basically bathed in the stuff. You might remember that from Hawaii. And you're right, John. They just take water hoses and wash it down in the. We used to take water hoses off the fire trucks and wash it down with into the septic system.
Yeah.
So, you know, another thought I had
That's what
was,
you do.
when you leave here and go to Vance Air Force Base,
What
you're
do you
going
do?
uphill,
Yeah.
okay? And toxins in the ground move through the ground like clouds move through the sky. I don't know if you guys know that or not. It forms clouds, and the movement and the shaking of the ground actually causes that stuff to relocate. And I would guess that any relocation or movement of that toxic stuff coming from Vance is gonna go downhill toward the Cimarron River Basin. That would be my guess. So absolutely, I totally agree. We need to be very urgent on this. We need to keep it on our radar on a regular basis. Other than that, I really don't know what to say. That's just my take on what we're talking about.
On mine, I think this is insurance. That doesn't cost you money.
Absolutely.
And I think, well, in fact, I want to make a motion, because we send a sample to DEQ every month from our water, because we have been high on nitrate. And so we have to keep our nitrates in line. So there's nothing that says, hey, this month, let's take Hennessey over here and try this new thing that we just got. You know, I mean, we are already there, so I think we need to be prepared. So I'm gonna make a motion to enter into a contingency legal contract with Uses and Levin Law Groups to collect for PEAS damage to our water production system without any upfront cost.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Cliff,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
And John, thank you very much for bringing that to us, because
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
had no idea
Yeah.
before you stepped into the room and brought that to our attention.
I wasn't aware of it until one of the municipal auditors actually was asked by the Oklahoma City lawyer to, you know, that they held a few little, not a seminar, but at least a kind of an educational session like we've gone through tonight. No, the problem is no one, well, David is the first one that really, I've met that really knows much about it. It's just really, I think they've had a 60 minutes CBS spot, probably a 10-minute little spot on it, but otherwise, obviously, no one's gonna beat Vance Air Force Base up over it, because it, you know, it's not a positive issue, and so we don't, that's not gonna go on our Enid front page. And yet you can Google that up too, where they rank all the military bases.
Well, there's actually a hot list of military bases, and believe this or not, it's actually worldwide.
Oh.
I know you mentioned earlier in the evening that it started on the East Coast, moving west. Well, there's the list of bases that I'm looking at, and I was actually stationed at a lot of them myself. And I'll say this, even, my wife lost a baby in 1985, and we were stationed at Victorville, California, George Air Force Base. And it's I think number 2 or 3 on the list for PFOAs and PFASs. And so.
Vance isn't at the top.
No.
But they certainly aren't, they're not even near the bottom. So I guess we all worry a little bit about that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just our own fire department, they practice, they're put out fires, they use the foam. The foam is very readable, it's everywhere, it's not just the bases.
Well, it's been a good product.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
the trick.
I'm not sure, but I think they've cleaned it up. I think they have different ingredients in it now.
I think so too. I
hope so.
haven't been involved. Fortunately, we don't buy, you know, Hennessey Fire never bought much foam, and from time to time, of course, and fortunately, again, we don't have to use it that much, but absolutely, it's been washed off on the ground. I mean,
Oh, sure,
that's
yeah.
where it's-
And those ingredients take the oxygen out of the air. That's why it's used in aviation fires. You can douse an airplane with it being, I mean, just blazing, and that stuff will take the oxygen out of the air, and the fire goes out just like that. You might even be able to save people's lives by using it, but you're contaminating them with toxins at the same time. So,
it's just a
Oh,
matter of
Mr.
choice
Wood, I
what
don't need
you're
you to
inside.
sign on this
I'd
contract.
rather be sprayed than burn in a fire.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry for all that.
No,
I've never heard the explanation. We've run through this a couple of times.
Yeah, it's widely used in aviation.
Okay.
They even have firefighting systems hanging than we used to. They had firefighting systems in the hangars that are automated.
You've gotta go.
And if you get, something catches on fire in the hangar, you just run over and hit a big button and
Oh, that's cool.
that fire foam would spray all the airplanes and all the people down all at the same
So
time.
maybe you could take something from Florida for some.
Oh, man, I think I need to go, huh?
She wants, I'm gonna send her down to Florida to get that signature.
Oh, to Florida, I thought you were.
No, when I go to Gulf Shores, I fly into
Yeah,
Pensacola,
we're marking California off the list, she's gotta go to Florida next.
John, thank you, sir. I know I've been a thorn, but
No,
I enjoyed working with you.
Well, I think, you know, I get to see all kinds of it, so don't categorize yourself.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, John.
I'm ready to adjourn.
Randy.
Appreciate it.
We're,
Thank you. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
who's second?
David.
David, okay.
All those in favor, say aye.
All those in favor.
I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Yeah. Cliff,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Bert,
Yeah.
Randy.
Yes.